For this week's tip of the week, I'm going to introduce you to how I use Twitter. Now, I know there's a lot of skeptics out there who don't want to touch Twitter, and you know what? You don't have to. But for some of us who want to be aware of what's going on in a real-time manner, if you want some reading that might be useful, you want to know new things that are happening, new papers that people like, new resources that are being developed, there might be a way for you to keep up with the things in your field by using Twitter to do that. Now, I use it by using this interface that's called Tweetdeck. So here's Tweetdeck. And what you can do is you don't have to tweet. You don't have to send messages all the time. You can just watch what's going on. Most of the time, I'm just watching what's going on with my Tweetdeck. I have standing columns set up for searches for terms like genome or genomics, bioinformatics. And I also have a column of the people that I'm following on Twitter. And what you can see is what they're tweeting. And so if a tweet comes out in the system that contains one of these words or is from one of the people that I'm interested in following, it will appear in one of these columns. And these columns, they ring and they update all the time, and so some people get irritated with that. But you can turn that off. You can set that to work differently, and you don't have to have it ringing either. But what you can do is you can watch these. I also have, I should mention, I have columns for my personal stuff, my friends that are non-scientists in many cases, but also saying interesting things. So I keep that as well. But right now I'm just showing you the professional side of my tweets. But what you can do is you can watch what's going on. If there's a tweet you like here's one that's interesting. Nice use of many bioinformatics resources to annotate variants. This might be a post you wanted to go look at. So you can click that. You can load that up, and it will bring you to the browser location that contains this this item. And so here's my browser loading up, and you could go and you could read that. So that's just an example of the kind of thing that you can do to quickly see what's going on out there, see what people are saying. Another thing that's really interesting is that if people are going to conferences, for example, the Pacific Symposium for Biocomputing is on right now, PSB 2011. Now, if they're sitting in the conference and they're talking about things that they're seeing, you can use their hashtag. If they use the same hashtag, you can use that to see what's going on. So if I click that hashtag, it loads up a whole separate column of everything that's been going on around this hashtag. And so you can see what all these people have been saying. Let me just close that, save that. You can see what people have been saying, what's been going on, what they're seeing, who they're talking to, who they're talking about, who they're learning from. And so you can see all kinds of useful tidbits here. Maybe there's new resources in bioinformatics that you wanted to know about. These are kinds of things that come up at conferences. So you can check that out. You can leave that as a standing search while a conference is on, and monitor that over time too. So there's all kinds of things that you can learn. There's interesting articles, there's blog posts that your friends are doing, there's announcements like this GenBank announcement. Today there was a GenBank release, and that might be something you're interested in. Now, the other thing that I could do with this is I could retweet this to people. So if I click there's some buttons over here. If I click retweet, what it would do is it would load it right up here in my my Tweetdeck, and if I trim it just a little bit, because it's red right now, it wouldn't go. That would be too long, over the 140 character limit. So I could retweet this to all my friends using my OpenHelix account by just clicking send here. I won't do that right now. Another thing that you can do is you can use multiple accounts. So here's my personal account, and here's my OpenHelix account. So if I had them both clicked, it would send from both accounts. Or I could choose not to send from the OpenHelix account, and I could send just from my personal account. So there's different ways to manage messages that you want to send out as well. And there's different things that you can do. Here, there's different features of that. So you can send messages, you can receive messages, but you don't have to. You can just monitor what's going on. You can see if there's useful things for your work. Maybe there's books that you're interested in. Maybe there's articles that you're interested in. Here's the announcement today from the nucleic acids research database issue. There's a lot of that going on today. Now, sometimes there's junk that comes through, and you just have to ignore it. There'll be other cases of Pandora's music genome, for example, that really isn't what I'm interested in. But you'll find that there really are some useful tidbits, things that you can learn, and guide you to new resources. And that's the way I'm using Twitter with this Tweetdeck interface. But other people will have other strategies as well. So if you have questions, let me know in the blog post. I'll be happy to answer them.